Hello, students, and welcome to BA 131, Module 5. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the overview of the module. You have the introduction, the video lecture, homework, class exercise, the study guide for the quiz that you're going to be taking next module. This is the correction key for class exercise 4, the IEP, and the summary of Module 5. Let's go to the PowerPoint and then we'll come back to the module. All right, Module 5. This is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to see the video lecture. We're recording this. You have homework number 5, the class exercise. We'll go over those in the module. We're going to review the Code of Ethics. We talked about that earlier, but now we're going to review it and use it in the upcoming quiz. And I'll show you the study guide so you can review that and be ready for that. You have recorded a few things, a few interpretations. So when translating or interpreting, this goes for both, remember not to add, omit, or alter the meaning of the message of the speaker. This means if the speaker uses high academic language, you use high academic vocabulary in the target language. If the speaker uses slang, then you use slang in the target language as much as possible. You find the closest equivalent in the other language, in the target language. Use appropriate delivery and poise. You can't have a confident presenter and then you're shy because you have stage fright in delivering the message. You need to match the message that the person is given both in the content and in the delivery. And you demonstrate high professional conduct and demeanor when interpreting in court and everywhere else. For future practicing, you don't have to redo the ones you've done before, but this is for the future as you continue learning. You can practice reading aloud for 15 minutes a day. Try to read as much as possible in different fields, large vocabulary, and especially in the field that you are going to go into. If it's going to be in the legal field, read about case law and the legal terms, the Latin that they use in legalese, etc. If you're going into the medical field, you want to learn about operations, surgery, patients, treatment, and all the different things you will encounter in that field. Same thing goes for education. Learn about the laws in the educational field, special education, CIF, college and university. All the aspects that you're going to be interpreting for, be sure to familiarize yourself with those terms and concepts in English and in Spanish. Of course, you can interpret something you don't know about, but you're not going to have the same certainty, and be sure that the terminology that you are using fits that topic if you don't know what they're talking about. So familiarize yourself with those topics. In your delivery, pay attention to your voice, pitch, tone, hesitations, signs, projection, enunciation, and posture. Control your emotions while reading high emotional content, such as fear, anger, humor, etc. And practice public speaking. Practice public speaking in front of a group of people as much as possible. When you are interpreting, identify sentences and embedded sentences, so sentences within sentences. Break up long sentences into smaller, more manageable units. For example, you have this long sentence. You have juvenile delinquency, which is seen most often among minority youths in urban ghettos, cannot be attributed to the urban environment alone, as it plagues the suburbs as well. You have several elements. You have 3 separate sentences that are embedded in this complex sentence. You have A, juvenile delinquency is seen most often among minority youths in urban ghettos. B, it cannot be attributed to the urban environment alone. And C, it plagues the suburbs as well. When you are rendering, you have these 3 different concepts. They are related, but they're separate and distinct. You need to interpret these separately and distinctly as well. Be sure to review the study guide that is in the module. I'll show you where that is in just a moment. And as a way of a review, you need to be familiar with these concepts. What is consecutive interpreting? What is simultaneous interpreting? And what is sight translation? In this PowerPoint, you want to review the videos that are here. I'm not going to play them here because you can review them on your own. These are only in the PowerPoint, not in the module. So if you are not downloading or opening the PowerPoint, this is a good time to do it. This is an overview of court interpreting, and it applies to other industries as well. You have simultaneous interpreting. We've seen this video before, but it's a review. You have consecutive interpreting. We have seen this video as well. And sight translation. It's an oral rendition of text written in one language, the source language, into another language, the target language, and is usually done in the moment, almost simultaneously as you are reading it. But you want to read the text in its entirety, or at least the first few sentences before you start out with your rendition, to know what you are interpreting and what appropriate words to use. This is, in a way, a hybrid of translation and interpretation, because you're taking a written document, which would be translation, and you're delivering it orally, which would be interpretation. Documents that contain general background, such as HIPAA or Patient Bill of Rights, may not have to be interpreted, as they could be time-consuming, and there may already be a Spanish translation for patients to review. So ask the supervisor, the person in charge, the doctor, whatever that might be, if there is a translation already done. Documents that are considered vital should be interpreted, such as admission forms, consent and complaint forms. And the question is here for you. You don't have to answer it, just think about it. Was class exercise 2, the IEP, the parent meeting, a true sight translation? When you review the study guide, go back to the glossaries as well. Look for some of these terms so you are familiar with them. And this is the reminder for educational glossaries. Review this as well. We've talked about this before. Now here's a review of a good translation from Transportation News, the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority. As I mentioned in the previous model, it's good to see good exemplars of translations, and they do a pretty good job with these translations. We'll look at a couple of these examples in the module once we go back. And as always, if you have any questions, you can inbox me in Canvas or send me an email. If you have any general questions, you can post them above Module 1 in the General Course questions, and other students can answer as well. Let's go back to the module. From the PowerPoint, you are going to click on those links to come to these pages. This is from Metro, the source, and the Spanish version is El Pasajero, Novedades de Transporte. In English, it says just Metro, the source. So they added a little something in the Spanish. In here, you can peruse news from the Metro and see the equivalent in Spanish. In this case, let's go back up here. For example, we have here Metro to run direct bus service to FIFA World Cup matches from multiple locations in the Los Angeles area. The Spanish would have, let's go back up a little bit. Metro ofrecerá servicio a los partidos de la Copa Mundial de la FIFA desde varios puntos de LA, Los Angeles. So you can click on here and go to that article. Go to the English, you can click there. And you can read through. The World Cup draw was completed in early December, and most of the teams have been set for the world stage matches to be played at Los Angeles Stadium. El sorteo de la Copa Mundial finalizó a principios de diciembre y la mayoría de los equipos ya están listos para los partidos de la fase de grupos que se jugarán en el estadio de Los Ángeles, etc. You can go back and forth to see good exemplars of translations. Here in the introduction, we have business translations, social media and advertising, and review of the Code of Ethics. You can look at the introduction for this module. These are the student learning objectives. Again, for this module, we have the Code of Ethics in here from the American Translators Association, and a commentary that I want you to review as well. The Code of Ethics from this link takes you here. So review these from the American Translators Association. And if you want to have a deeper understanding of what these mean, they have prepared a commentary on each of these. This is the commentary. So it would take the Code of Ethics right here and what it means right here with explanations, examples, etc. Number 2 is right here, what it means. So review these so you have a deeper understanding of the Code of Ethics. Here is the place for the video lecture and the PowerPoint. And I mentioned it before, but it's here as well. Be sure to review the video lecture because this will also serve as a review for the upcoming quiz, along with the study guide for quiz 1 in this module. Homework 5, self-check translation, grammar mistakes. Yours is going to look a little bit differently because this is my version. So I'll read through the introduction, what we're talking about, what you need to be looking for in business translations. You have a deeper dive in here. American Translators Association, common errors in English-Spanish translation. And from Ad Astra Translation blog, common Spanish translation errors. So you have additional resources for these. After you read through those, here are the instructions on the assignment. Read through these and then complete the quiz. It's set up as a quiz, so you're going to get immediate feedback on the correct answers and on the incorrect answers if you choose those, and you can take these as many times as you want to get the highest score possible. So you have unlimited attempts here as well. For class exercise 5, you're going to be translating a social media marketing campaign. After you've reviewed the concepts in homework 5 that I just showed you, you understand the concept and what to look out for in English to Spanish translations, such as literal translations, false cognates, incorrect verb structures, and unnatural phrasing, etc. So these are more noticeable in social media translation, where language must sound natural, engaging, and culturally appropriate for the target audience. So read through this explanation as well, because it's difficult to translate. For example, you cannot translate literally, don't miss out, no te pierdas fuera, right? Doesn't make sense. Level up your game. How would you say that in Spanish? Grab yours today. Very common in English. You're promoting something. Grab yours today. You cannot use a direct translation for that. So this exercise is going to help you with that. Read through the instructions down here. You are going to use this Word document, which contains these phrases here. Okay. And please submit your translation as a Word document. You're going to save the document that you download and save it as your last name underscore your first name underscore class exercise 5, all together like that. In my example, this would be what I would write. At the end, it's in the instructions here. There's only 6 of these. Very short, it shouldn't take you that long. But think about these. After you complete them, write a reflection on this assignment. What phrases or expressions were the most difficult to translate, and how did you adapt them to sound natural in Spanish? You don't have to go on too long, 3 to 5 sentences. If you need to go on a little bit more, that's fine, but the requirement is 3 to 5 complete sentences. Here is the study guide. You can open it or download it. The quiz is in Module 6. This is the correction key for class exercise 4. You can again open it or download it. And finally, the summary for Module 5. And for a deeper dive into this topic, you can go through these marketing translation bloopers from English into other languages. These are funny now examples, not so funny when they happened. We'll just take one example here. The original slogan for Pepsi was, "Come alive with the Pepsi generation." You may or may not be old enough to remember that, but that was the slogan at some time. When it was translated into Chinese, the way they translated that, it came out as, "Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the dead." Not a good thing to promote from Pepsi. And it explains why this happened, because the slogan was translated too literally, ignoring cultural and linguistic nuances. So, what is the lesson here? Marketing slogans must be localized, not just translated word for word. And that is what you're going to be doing in this week's assignment. Do not translate word for word. So go through these. There's just a few examples for you to review. Again, this is extra, a deeper dive, and it's not too long for you to read and be familiar with these. And that's it for this week. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful week.